I'm Dave Rowley, and with us we have the publisher of the Observer, John D'Agostino. John, welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, Dave. It's been a very busy month and certainly a very busy 2 weeks for you and our staffs covering a major issue in the North County and countywide.
Talking about energy, the Dunkirk power station, and it's been just over a week and a half since NRG filed a mothball notice, and elected officials from all levels are involved. They have responded. They're asking for residents and businesses to respond. John, how crucial is this facility to the Dunkirk, Fredonia, Chautauqua County area?
In terms of employment and in terms of the tax base, we know it generates about $40 million to the economy in Dunkirk, in the Dunkirk City Schools, and in the county. I think the largest recipient of that payment in lieu of taxes happens to be the school district, which is close to $5 million. So that's huge. You're talking about a $37 million school budget relying on that $5 million in a payment in lieu of taxes. And what we've seen in the last 2 weeks is we've seen a lot of people stepping up to the plate, writing the letters, contacting the governor's office, contacting the Assembly Speaker Sheldon Silver's office. So that's a good thing. We've heard that from Greg Edwards. You heard it from Todd Tranum of the County Chamber. And we've also heard from Andrew Goodell late last week that the budget committees are receptive to Dunkirk's plight. And the other thing we learned yesterday in the Sunday Observer is the NYPA, the New York Power Authority, is already purchasing power from coal-fired plants in New Jersey. So there already is a precedent for this. Mm-hmm. Now, will they step up and see this through Kathy Young's bill? That's still a wait-and-see process. But right now, with the budget due on April 1st, I'm not going to say it's promising, but everything's moving in that direction.
And I know this is a crucial week because the legislature, the governor, at work trying to hammer out a final budget agreement before that April 1st deadline. So obviously the time is now. Time is of the essence. It sounds like everyone is working hard from the local level up. And really this is due to a decrease in natural gas prices because of the Marcellus shale. The drilling that has taken place in other states has caused the price of natural gas to drop below to the point where coal-fired power plants can produce it cheap enough.
Well, you want a real indication of how much cheaper electricity is. All you need to do is look at your bill from National Grid. Yes. You'll see that you're not paying the high rate each month that you were maybe a year ago, and that is because of that natural gas price. That being said, as we all know, prices in these commodities seem to fluctuate. So in 2 years, who's to say that natural gas will still be at this level? Coal could be the cheaper commodity, and that's why there's some hope that maybe this is just something that we're seeing now, because that price is going to go up. Yeah. So that's still to be seen, but what we do know is that we'd rather have New York's Power Authority purchasing power from a coal plant in Dunkirk rather than a plant in New Jersey, and that's what's currently happening.
Or possibly cheaper power from Quebec, which is also a big concern about a purchase of power from across the international border of Canada. So that's another issue. Somehow, long term, they got to figure out about the grid in bringing all this upstate power downstate. Has to be part of, I would think, the long-term solution here.
Well, there's a couple reports that have surfaced since this story broke in the middle of the month, and that is that the state's power grid right now has something like 32,000 megawatts. That's peak demand, and right now they have 37 megawatts that they can tap into. That's a whole ball game that I'm not really familiar with, other than to say that the demand is not the capacity right now is more than the demand, basically.
So we'll see. So people need to continue to keep those emails, those phone calls coming.
Well, make those calls, send the emails. They're making a difference. They're hearing us in Albany. And that's, the jobs and the tax base are crucial to this area. We've seen too many companies leave in the past, and this isn't something that NRG wants to do. It's something that the market is dictating right now.
What happens if this plant is mothballed? And would there be some pressure put on some of these local governments? Because, there's going to be fallout if indeed they mothball the plant or shut it down.
Well, there's certainly going to be added pressure on the governments. We already know there's a 2% tax cap in place. We know that the school district's trying to meet that 2% tax cap right now. They'd have to find $5 million to make up for that shortfall. Well, it's not $5 million, because if it's mothballed, they're still going to be paying a pilot, but it's going to be less than the $5 million they're paying right now. Same with the city, same with the county, which is facing a $14 million deficit. So this is vital to the area's economic engine. It's also vital to our governments, the many that we have, the many school districts that we have, so that they can continue to get their revenues.